Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Julio, and today we are going to do Game Zone from TryHackMe. So let's get started. So I did already run that Nmap scan just so that we don't have to waste too much time on that. So let's take a look at what we have here. We're going to have two ports, port 22 and port 80. Just a couple of things that I would observe are the version 7.2. They're not always going to find the way in from SSH, but um, it's it's just good practice just to always look at the versions of different services. And here we have Apache 2.4.18 Ubuntu, so we know we're on an Ubuntu machine, Linux box. Let's instead of having to always go back to my IP address, let's add that to my host file. That way, so it's 10.10.112.8.9, and I'm going to just put it in as game zone. All right. Okay, cool. So let me make sure I have burp running as well. I do. I know I have it run, but let me add my scope. So I'm going to HTTP:/game zone. Okay. And turn Foxy proxy on. Just reload it. Take a look. Okay, it's working. And let's take a quick look at that website. Um, so what I normally do is I'm just kind of hovering my mouse over some of these buttons. And on the bottom left, you can see that there's already that hashtag, that #. So I know that those links are going to go nowhere. They're just placeholder links. Oh, and you know what? I forgot to say, like my last video, I'm not going to really answer the questions that are on the TryHackMe site. For me, it's just more fun to just kind of go through it and just do it on my own. So I will not be answering those, but you can easily go to YouTube and look for Game Zone, and there's plenty of people that have done it. So it looks like nothing is here. Let's take a look at the page source real quick. Uh, Again, not really seeing much. Looks like just the website, so nothing really there. And it seems like the only things that are of importance or that actually work here are maybe these three. I'm not even sure if this works or not, what that does. Hi, what did that do? Uh, Nothing, it looks like. Okay. Admin. Just thinking. So let's take a look at that. So there's admin, and it was a 200. And it just took me back to the site. And we can always just take a quick look by rendering and seeing what it does. Incorrect login. So admin is are not the credentials. So let's try some SQL injection. We'll do admin or 1 = 1. We won't have to worry about anything there. Hey, and we're in. All right. So nothing here other than this search box. And let's take a look. It's always important every time you get somewhere new, make it part of your methodology to just start doing things all over again. So let me just take a quick look again at my page source just to see if anything new is there, because obviously I did not have access to this before. And it looks like I have nothing here again. So, okay, just good practice. Search for a game review, game dog. Nothing. Let's see what that did in burp. So there's search item dog. And 200. Okay, nothing. Let's just try SQL injection again. And that did not, you have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your MySQL Server version for the right syntax to use near admin 1 equals 1. Oh, so this is good, this error here, because it's showing us that there is, well, it's telling us that MySQL is being used, and it's just confirming that what the database is back there. So these errors should normally not be this detailed. You would want just either nothing or something that doesn't give as much detail. So admin or 1 equals 1. So if you see the difference here is I forgot to use the or. That's not true. How about that? No. Dog or 1 equals 1. Yeah, there we go. So let me try that. Let me type that out again, what I did. I think I did admin or 1 equals 1. I was using the pound sign, the hashtag, but it wasn't working, so I tried that. And both of those are in SQL are comments, so it terminates anything after that. And that's what worked. And here we have all of the reviews, or so I guess if I would have just typed in Hitman 2, it should just give me back that bytes. Yeah, Hitman 2, but instead, it doesn't really matter what I put there. And does it need to be or all together? Or 1 equals 1. Okay, interesting. So we have SQL injection. What else can we do here? I know that the actual instructions in TryHackMe, I believe, want you to use SQL map, but if you are studying for your OSCP, SQL map cannot be used. But if you are studying for your PNPT, then that's okay. You can use SQL map. Can I do admin? Let's try union select. Null, null. It's going to be at least 2. The use select statements have different number of columns. Okay. So I need to use another null admin union select null, null, null. Try that. And let me copy this so I don't have to keep pasting it. Just save that off to the side, which you can't see, but I'm just saving it on my notes. And a real quick explanation. Basically, I am just trying to, the unit select is allowing me to use more add to this query. And the nulls here, I'm checking for the different number of columns. So instead of adding an actual value, the null will be accepted. And that's all I'm checking for is how many columns exist in the table. So first I did 2. And the reason I said that it's going to be at least 2 is because almost all, if not every single modern database, the first column is reserved for an ID, like a GUID or some sort. So that's almost always an integer, like 1, and then maybe if this was username, it would be username, and then this column would be password. So this would be an integer, this would be string text. So let's just see. And remember, when I had 2, here's the error that I get when I have 2. It's saying there are different number of columns. When you use unit selects, these have to match what is in the actual table. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your MySQL Server version. Okay, so we have a different error. That means that we have the right number of nulls in there. So now let's try this. Let's try version. See what we get back. All right, we get the version. Sweet. So we definitely know that we can get some details back. So let's try this now. Union select null, null. We do table name from information schema dot tables. So let me make that so you guys can see it. Same start, admin, single quote, union select, null, null. And then instead of that third null, I'm actually asking it for some information, and I'm saying table name, which I just realized that's wrong. That should be an underscore. Table name from where do I want that? I want that from the information schema dot tables. So essentially I'm saying, show me all of the tables, hopefully. And that works. And that is a lot of tables. What I would do here is I would search in the CTF environment, and honestly, even in the real world environment, when it comes to the tables, there's gonna for authentication, there's almost always going to be a username, password type thing. So that's something I would search for. User name, user. So I see user, users. Okay, users. So that's a good table to keep in mind. Let's see. Now, user, there's 26 matches for user. Let's go to the top. User privileges, users. So I do have users and I have user. Okay. User. And then a whole bunch of these other ones that I'm not sure what they do. But user and users seem like good tables to keep in mind. All right, so now let's do the same thing, but now let's see what columns we have. So each table is going to have columns. So let's see what we have. Admin, union select, oops, sorry, column name this time from information schema dot columns. And just to make sure you can see what I'm typing in there, that's what I'm typing. And the first one was tables. Table name from information schema dot table. So that's the first one that I ran. There's the second one. So let's see what columns we have. Oh, I had an error somewhere. What error did I have? Oh, I didn't have the nulls. So scratch that. Union select null, null. There we go. Copy, paste, search. Okay. Admin, union select null, null. Column name from information schema dot columns. Oh my gosh, I think I know what I'm doing. I'm not terminating it. So let's try that one more time. There we go. And I mean, this is nice. This works well here in the browser, but it's also nice to just do it in burp so you can see admin union select null null column name from information schema dot columns, and that time I have the terminator. And you can always change this. I think it's Control Shift U to decode it, but if you right click, actually, well, let me do it without sending it to the repeater. It may not. Convert selection, URL, URL decode. Okay, so it's showing me here because I'm not in the repeater. So let me just send that to repeater just to show you. Now I can grab that. Again, convert selection, URL, URL decode, and there it is. So if I send this, it should work. We can see our content length is pretty big. And here are the column names, description, and we can also render that if we want to take a look. But it doesn't look like the render shows us everything. But it's a quick way to see. And this just keeps coming over. So let's just go back over here and let's do the same thing. Column names. So we have a user probably column. User, CPU user. See, that's username, password, PWD. So that is definitely good to keep in mind. So let's just see if that works. And what we're going to try now is we're going to try and grab the username and password. So I'm going to do something like admin union select null. And this could be, again, since I believe this is going to be an ID. Let's just check if there's an ID. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, ID. Let's just see. We can make that a 1 because IDs are normally going to be or can be just a single digit. or not a single digit, but can be integers. And one of those columns was username, and the other column was PWD. And I want that from the table that we saw earlier. We saw two tables. One was user and one was users. So users seems like it should work, so more than one. So let's copy that. And let's try it over here in burp, just so you can see. So there it is, admin, you can select one. I want username, and again, this is null, null, null. We figured out that we had 3 columns. So, and the nulls again were, because for the unique selects, you have to have the equal number of columns and you have to have the same type of data. So you can't have string text where numbers or integers are being inserted into the database, and you can't, same thing, you can't have integers where strings are expected. Let's see what happens. 859. Look at that. Agent 47, username, a hashed password. Nice. So that works. And let's just try it in the GUI as well. Or not the GUI, the browser. Just to see what happens. Copy, paste, search. There we go. With a hashed password. So now we know that our next step is to probably crack this thing right here. I have a couple of different ways that I do this. The easiest way is just go to CrackStation, drop it in. I'm not a robot. Crack hashes, and that works. There's your password. Video Gamer 124, and it's a SHA-256. So this is not the coolest hacker way of doing it, right? Because it's just going to another website doing it. So that's one way of doing it. And now let's just try doing it from here. Let's just nano hash dot hash. Drop that in there. And another tool I'll just show you real quick. If I wasn't sure what type of hash that was, is hash identifier. And then you should be able to just drop the hash right there. And it gives you an idea of what you're working with. So it's pretty accurate here, SHA-256, and then some least possibles. So we know we're probably working with the right thing here. How do you get out of here? I always forget. Control C. There. All right. So what do we have now? Oh yeah, we need to crack that hash. We'll pretend that we didn't get it from the CrackStation. So we'll try Hashcat, and I have my hash right here. So we'll do sudo hashcat -m 1400. The mode is 1400. So let me show you how I get that. Is I have bookmarked this Hashcat examples, and I'll just type in SHA-256, and you can see that I have SHA-256 right here, 1400. So you do get a few others, but this is just plain regular SHA-256. So that's what I would normally go to, unless I know there's, more specific reasons to use something different. And you can also get an example of the hash itself to see if what you have is similar to this. So here you can see that these have the salt by that semicolon. at the end. So again, if you just go to Google and just type in um, Hashcat examples, it should take you there. Yeah, and just bookmark that page as I have, if you want. All right, so we're here. Hashcat-m, the mode we already said is 1400. There is my file that has hash in it, and I'm going to use rocku, and I'm going to use -- force to run that. And since I've already found it, what is it? Can I just do from here -- show? Yes. Always read. So here we go. There's the hash video gamer. So Hashcat is my preferred way of doing these things, of cracking these hashes. But just to show, there's also John the Ripper. The thing with John is that, you know how we went to that examples web page to get all the things, the possible examples. That's what I like, I think, the most about that. But with John, we can do John -- list formats, and it gives you the formats you have to look for. And we would look for raw 256, and we could probably grep that. Let's make that, well, it doesn't matter, I have the -i. Let's see, can we do SHA-256? And then once we have that, we could go John -- word list and equals. So I like to leave a little space just so I can, get to my, so like it auto completes my, or lets me know that I'm on the right path to my word list. And then I just kind of back it up a little bit. Otherwise it won't work. And then there's the format we wanted, raw SHA-256. And there's my file that has the hash in it. So there is the password. Well, the password is already loaded because I've already done it, but that's how you would get it. So if I do John, I do John dot pot. Okay, there it is. So this is where your file, your passwords are going to be saved, your cracked passwords. All right, so now we have our password. So now what else? What can we do? So let's kind of take a look at our scan real quick. As a reminder, we have a username and a password, and we have port 22. Drinking some coffee, sorry. So let's see what we can do with that password. So SSH agent 47 at game zone. And if you did not change this in your host file, then you would just drop in the IP address, the 1010, or what is it? 1010.112.89 for me. So let's try and connect. What was it? Video Gamer 124. All right. Who am I? Who am I? Agent 47. Sweet. Let's check sudo -l. Password for agent 47. Video Gamer 124. No sudo for me. Okay. Bummer. Well, let's take a look at, let's go to temp. And so just for clarification, this is where I'm SSH'd into the box. And this is my Kali machine. Nope, wrong one. So let's go to my transfer folder, and we're going to grab linpeas. We're going to start a Python 3 server on port 80. And over here, we're going to wget http colon my port 1013 or my IP 63. What is it? 22. And the file I want to get is linpeas.sh. So you can see that right there. Let's bring that over. Hopefully it's working. There we go, linpeas. Let's chmod, change mod plus x, linpeas.sh. Now we can run it. So let's do that. linpeas.sh. Probably don't need that anymore, but I'll leave it there just for a second, just in case. And this is running, so let's just kind of take a quick look as we're going. Okay, well, that's about as far as I can go right now. There we go. So home agent 47 is in the path. Okay. There are a whole bunch of CVEs. I wonder how many of these would work. Highly probable. Dirty cow, highly probable. For your OSCP, I would not ignore these. Sometimes that's the way in, at least in the training material, that has been the case. And I have seen where the less probable is the way in, even though there are others that would work better. Oh, okay, look at this. So active ports, if you recall, oh, I already have it up. If you recall, in our Nmap scan, we only got back port 22 and port 80, and that was it. But here, it looks like there's port 10,000 as well that we were not able to get to. Okay, so just kind of quickly finish going through this. All right, so we're just still going through this quickly, just trying to see if anything stands out. But I feel like we need to go see what that port 10,000 is. I don't know what port 10,000 is. Like, I don't know what type of service is running on it. So let's just game zone 10,000. Oh, that didn't work. Okay. HTTP game zone 10,000. All right. So we can't get to 10,000 from there. And that's just expected because we couldn't reach it. So what can we do here? We need to see what port 10,000 is. What we can do is we can port forward using SSH so that we can see port 10,000. SSH-n-l for local, and it's port 10,000. Oops, 10,000 on localhost 10,000 to the Agent 47 should be able to use GameZone here. So SSH N is so that it doesn't create a new complete connection. L for local hosts. I always just, whatever one I'm trying to reach to, I just usually just use them twice. And let's see if that works. So the password is videogamer124, and it's hanging, which is expected with a -n. So we should be able to go to localhost port 10,000, and yes, it works. Log into web admin. So one thing I'm immediately thinking is web admin. Are there existing exploits for web admin? Let's see if we can find the version of web admin easily. Control F, web admin. Oh, webmin, not web admin, webmin. No version number here. Maybe if I throw an error? No. Okay. So we have credentials, and let's just presume they work. Agent 47, video gamer 124, log in. Hey, webmin 1.580, perfect. And of course, we are going to go take a quick look. Search exploit webmin 1.5. So another note, a second note for you OSCPers out there studying, you can use Metasploit once in your OSCP, or you can use it as many times as you want in the PMPT. So if you're studying for OSCP, let's not worry about Metasploit. Let's go back to here. Webmin 1.5 exploit. And there we can see, oops, what did I open? Well, I'm open the second one. I meant to open that one, but so I found this version by Sir John Hammond, and he says that when he was checking searchsploit for web admin, he saw the Metasploit module, and he decided to create his own version in Python. You can see that I have it. Let's take a look at it on one window. And we can see that we need -t is the target, P port, U username, P password, the command we want, and if we're running SSL. And then you can go through this and look at it if you want, as you should. You shouldn't just run things on your own. So let's see here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run so here, I'll just show you. So what I want is a reverse shell, right? I'm going to run a command right here, -c, run a command. And the command I want is a reverse shell, which I'll just prep that over here. So there's Python 3, the CVE -t is the target. So make sure you use the local host, because remember, that's how you can reach the login page. It is not through the TryHackMe address. And there's the port, Agent 47 Video Gamer. And here is the reverse shell we're going to use. One tool I love to use is Hack Tools here. You can just put in your IP address and what you want. And I think this is a slightly older version. I like the newer version. I just can't get it to upload or update for some reason, but here is what I want to use. I want to use a netcat reverse shell. So I would just copy that, and I would just drop it into the command I want, in quotes, because of all of the special characters. So that looks all set up. I want to make sure I listen on port 443, or start my listener, and that should be good to go. And there we go. And that looks like I'm root. Yes, I am. And now we should get that root.txt and just get that out. And there we go. Awesome. Well, that was a fun box. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. And the next one coming up is Skynet. So I will see you at the next video. Thanks.